So poor old Jonathan Majors is really down in the gutters lately, and apparently now there is a new rumor that is saying that MCU and Marvel is planning to recast Jonathan Majors Kang. I don't really think this is still going to happen. Obviously I could be wrong, and I've said it many times. I could definitely be wrong. We have an article from CBR.com kind of explaining what's going on here, as the rumor suggests. But again, this is all just rumors. Take it with a grain of salt. We can obviously have the discussion and talk about what we think is going to happen. But I just don't believe that Jonathan Majors could be removed from Kang, such a prominent character. Not only that, removing Jonathan Majors from Kang without any actual solid evidence yet, or even being proven guilty in the court of law, just goes to show how fucking privileged Ezra Miller is. Ezra Miller has gone through an entire rampage in this country, has done God knows what with underage girls and grooming them when they become 18 eventually to basically worship him. He's done God knows what in this country and has completely gotten away with everything. He's still able to play the Flash. He has not been arrested. I mean, the guy is just literally running free and profiting off of it. And here you have Jonathan Majors, who was simply accused of something. Whether it looked like he did it or not, he was still just accused at the end of the day. He hasn't actually been proven guilty in the court of law yet, and there's a lot of talks of him being canceled. Not only that, he was apparently dropped from his acting agency. If you look at this article from Variety, it says Jonathan Majors has been dropped by Manager Entertainment 360 following domestic violence charges. So this man is clearly being targeted, and he is not given his time of day. And of course, I did mention in the last video that he was going to receive the Johnny Depp treatment. Probably not as bad because he is a black male, and Johnny Depp, unfortunately for him, is a white male. But he is apparently getting the same kind of treatment. He is being canceled little by little. They're starting with the acting agency and the Entertainment 360, and they're going to eventually go to the MCU, which, again, I don't know if they're actually going to do that, because I think dropping him from the 360 is one thing, but dropping him from the MCU is a whole nother thing. So I don't really know what's going to happen, but let's see what the article from CBR has to say. So it says, rumor, Marvel has a backup plan to recast Jonathan Majors Kang. A new rumor suggests Marvel Studios has a contingency plan to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang in the MCU following his arrest for an alleged assault. Marvel Studios may have a contingency plan to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, according to a new rumor. As reported by The Direct, industry insider Jeff Snyder spoke to the Hot Mic podcast to discuss the Major situation following the actor's arrest for alleged assault. The pundit claimed that Marvel Studios is eyeing a replacement akin to actors such as Damson Idris from the FX crime drama Snowfall, suggesting Idris casting opposite Brad Pitt in Apple's untitled Formula One movie placed him on Marvel Studios' radar. Even though there hasn't been any movement on Jonathan Majors' front, I've heard that this kind of actor who, like if Jonathan Majors gets the boot as Kang, someone like Damson Idris is the type of person that Marvel may look at to replace him if that in fact happens, Snyder says. Now again, all rumors. We basically know that it's all rumors, but I don't know, guys. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. I'm not buying it. I just don't think at this point in time where they're at with the MCU and how finical the MCU is in terms of the amount of money it's been making and the fact that a lot of their movies bomb. Overall, I just don't think that since they put all their money and effort into hyping up Kang and getting Kang ready to be the next guy, maybe not the next biggest bad, but at least the next bad that's going to lead up to Galactus eventually in the future, I don't think that they're going to want to risk it and get rid of Jonathan Majors, because it's going to turn off a lot of people. On top of that, you already turned off a lot of people with the MCU. You don't really want to make it worse by making a statement like this and saying, oh, okay, we're just going to remove him completely, even though he hasn't even been put in a court of law and seeing if he's guilty or not. Like, they're not even letting it get to that point. Now, again, you can argue that they're not going to let it get to that point because they don't want to get to, Kang Dynasty and further down the line with the MCU. And then what if he's found guilty? If he's found guilty, then they're going to be forced to get rid of him halfway through when they already got people invested in Jonathan Majors as Kang. Now they may feel like it's very early. They can kind of rip the Band-Aid off and get started all over again early instead of later down the line when it's a little bit too late. You can also make that argument. I would be more likely inclined to believe that over anything else. So it says on March 26th, Majors was arrested in New York City for alleged domestic abuse against an unnamed 30-year-old woman. The actor claimed innocence through his reps, and his attorney claims the accuser recanted her initial statement, which is crazy. They said that she recanted. She made 2 statements recanting everything, and yet for some reason that's completely being ignored, and they filed charges anyway, which they're allowed to do, obviously. It says, while nothing has been officially announced, Snyder previously claimed Marvel Studios has discussed the issue with Major's team. Snyder stated they've met with or spoken to his agent to discuss potential options going forward. The backlash against Majors was swift as the U.S. Army pulled the actor's Be All You Can Be campaign, and multiple filmmakers spoke out about his alleged sociopathic behavior in the past. Additionally, a social media ad promoting Quantum Mania's home video release does not feature Majors Kang and puts the title heroes played by Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly at the forefront. So that makes it pretty much clear that Disney is trying to tread lightly, as I guess you can say. They're definitely trying to tread lightly on the Jonathan Majors accusations and the overall situation. You can't necessarily blame them for that because they're still probably trying to figure out what to do. At this point, if they are going to recast him, they're going to have to do it now because they can't do it later. There's no way in hell they could do it halfway through the lineup. Let's say they get basically through the entire Phase 5. By the time this guy gets into court, once he's found to be guilty, and they're going to have to recast him later on if he is found to be guilty, then what? It's going to be a much bigger issue, and they might even have to like rush the Galactus reveal or whatever the case may be. So again, it's not really going to be something beneficial for Disney to keep him in the long run. If they're really already thinking like this, if this rumor is to be true and they're thinking like this, they might as well just pull the band-aid off and get rid of him ASAP. Because again, if they're too ashamed to show him on the actual trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania with the home video release social media post, it goes to show that they're already feeling some sort of way regarding him, and they know showing his face is probably going to be bad press for them. And you know how Disney doesn't like their bad press. That's why they spend all this money and all this time pandering to certain communities, because it's going to allow them to get all the good virtue signaling press that they possibly can. But Jonathan Majors right now is bad for business for them, and I just don't think they're probably going to keep him around if they're already thinking about getting rid of him, which is crazy to me, again, because there's no actual evidence yet. He hasn't been proven guilty in the court of law. Did he probably do it? Yeah, probably, but still, he deserves to have his court date, and by denying him that and completely ruining his life just from a accusation just goes to show the difference between non-binary people and, you know, cisgender men, as they call it, like Jonathan Majors and Johnny Depp. So again, let's see what happens in the future regarding the court date and regarding his actual guilty or not guilty finding, and then from there we will see what Marvel has to do. But if they pull the trigger beforehand, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.